But I was pitching Loch Ness at the time to Christopher Keenan, who was our VP of creative. You'll see Christopher's credits on the front of Loch Ness and Where's My Mummy. And Christopher actually is now my boss again. He runs Mattel TV, where I'm doing Thomas and Friends. So, it's all about working with people that you love and have had success with. So Christopher loved the Loch Ness Monster. He championed the movie, but he said, I believe Christopher and Marge came to me and said, okay, kid, you can do this movie. Because I was 31 or 32. I was 31, 32 at the time. Said, but you have to get it done in 9 months instead of a year. And I said, okay. And so we did that. Not only was it super intense, and so much love put into it, but we really were just up against it to get that thing out and get that done. And it just sometimes things just line up, and the right people came together, the right team, the right energy, the right story. And the story that I pitched originally was nothing like what ended up on screen. It's hilarious, like what actually ended up being the movie. This such a process going from an original idea to what actually becomes, and that's the iterative creative process of a collaborative, medium like animation. From I know, shout out to George and Ed Charlack, who and Mark Turose, who came on, came up with great lines, great ideas, and it was just that push and pull of writers and animators and artists all just trying to get to the best idea together under a really tight time frame. So you just go at it every day and try to have fun as you do it.
Well, that is interesting. Do you remember what the original pitch was at all for the Loch Ness
Oh
Monster
yeah,
movie?
totally. Well, here's the funny thing was, I had done um I had done a actually I have it. You want to humor me for 2 seconds? I will grab this for you. Check
Yeah,
this out.
that's
Hold on.
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah, hold on a
perfect. Thank
second.
you.
Hold on a second. We're gonna go traveling through my house because this is hilarious. I've just cleaned my closets the other day, so apologies if my house is dirty, by the way. Uh, but it's funny. I just found this. I
Oh,
have
wow.
a bag full of old stuff, and I was cleaning my closet out, and I found the original pitch document that my teenage son actually found in a box. He's like, "Dad, can I have this? I'd love to have this." I said, "Oh,
Oh,
sure."
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so uh, so here we go. This is the original document that I put together for um, Loch Ness Monster, and I pitched it to Christopher Keenan and Sandra Schwartz, who was the president of Warner Brothers
Hmm.
Animation at the time. And I put it in a little. It looked like a little. My wife had this little pirate chest. It was like a little potpourri chest that sat on the back of our like toilet or something, right? It was just like this little like little house, decoration, but it looked like a pirate chest. So I was like, oh, let me borrow that. I threw the potpourri out, and I had done a little teaser short that a friend of mine had done, had animated a CG Loch Ness monster. I had somehow screen grabbed Shaggy and Scooby animation and managed to composite together just a little teaser that kind of put the mystery and everything in and gave it the feel that I wanted Loch Ness to have. And then I was at a bookstore and I found this
Oh,
Oh, that
incredible
looks
little
nice.
journal, right? And I'm like, and so what I did is I took it and then I went in and
Oh,
I made the storybook of what the story was going to be. So let's see what
oh,
this is. So there's Billion Donan, right? You can kind of see that guy right there. And so this is the first the first, and there's a map of Loch Ness talking about how the sonar would scan the loch, and then the history. And this drawing actually was in the movie, when Velma's talking about the history of the Loch Ness monster. That's an old carving picture of Loch Ness. And then so it was sort of like just the lookbook and the mood, right? It was like a mood board, and with the story beats, this
oh,
a
wow.
little sense. Those are just found images that I was
Mm.
just repurposing. There's the beginning of Professor Penelope Pembroke's submarine. So this is the original. Oh, there's the original Dell's van, for Del Tillman and his thing. So yeah, man, this was just the greatest, and it was just a really fun way to present the idea, right?
yeah,
And so I
that's
think that
amazing.
that at least got the momentum going. But I tell you, if I read you this story, it would look like nothing like nothing like what the story was. It was like, I don't even remember, but it was the start, right? It's like it was the beginning of the mood, the tone, the characters, and as we layer, then everything's a layer, right? You layer on top of that. You kind
So
of
that
got
was like the
something.
foundation,
Yeah,
and then it
pure
just
pure
built around
foundation.
it.